And who knows, maybe we'll keep this as one of our formats for just everyone that has that ability to jump on and the good thing is I can still be in my pajamas down here
For sure.
with my cute top on. I am super excited to have Melissa Hozack. She's the owner, pharmacist, and head ideal protein lady at Red Cliff Pharmasave in Medicine Hat, Alberta. And she's just a wealth of information. She's always not only helping clients and dieters online, she's the main go-to source for many of us coaches that need some info. So Melissa, introduce yourself.
For sure, thank you. I'm at home today, so that's the reason for my deck out back here anyway. And again, I'm wearing my activewear leggings for today too, so I can get dressed up nice, do hair and makeup for the day, and yeah, work from home for today anyway. So yeah, I'm Melissa Hozack. I've been doing ideal protein at our pharmacy now for the last, 7.5 years, I think already now. We started in 2013 when I needed to lose some weight, and I'd lost over 100 pounds and kept that off, staying low carb ongoing now, and just absolutely love it. So I've transformed my whole entire pharmacy practice. I've been saying I haven't dispensed in 7 years because I don't dispense in the pharmacy in the true sense of giving out medications and counseling and stuff like a regular pharmacist would. But I've solely focused on ideal protein. And up until this last month, just kind of getting my hand back into it a little bit, just in case, I haven't dispensed until now. So I'm in just helping out anyway, but it's been really busy and hectic in the pharmacy. We have my husband, obviously, is a pharmacist too, and another great pharmacist, Alana. So we're just kind of, preparing. We've taken all kinds of measures of getting personal protective equipment and plexiglass and shields and masks and gloves and, face shields and everything else. So just in case I would have to go back, I tried to get back in a little bit and figure out the pharmacy system and billing and everything like that. So in the meantime, though, Dee and I have been working hard at getting our virtual coaching going. Everybody knows Dee, I'm sure, anyway, because of our Dee and Renee shows. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of virtual coaching. We keep our regular appointments, and we've been actually picking up a few extra clients who maybe their clinics have closed and that kind of thing as well. So it's been busy, but a lot of fun, and we're adapting with things and moving along from there. So yeah. Happy to be here.
It's been interesting on our end too, because we're just meeting a lot of new people and a lot of people reaching out online. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Melissa. If you, Melissa's in Canada, I'm in the United States, and so if you need to find a local clinic, we can help you with that. If you don't have a clinic, your clinic closed, or you're just too far away from a clinic, we can help you virtually. So please feel free to reach out to either of us. Okay, Melissa.
Sure.
We're going to talk about today some, I think the first question that came in was, how do we talk to clients, and this is coming from a coach, how do we talk to clients about cheating? And one of the words I always have is, there are no cheats. So I like to think of things as indulgences, and we have either mindful indulgences or mindless indulgences.
Sure.
So speak on that.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Is it's an indulgence, but I don't like to think of food as being bad or good necessarily. It's just, is it in line with where my goals are going and what I want to achieve with my health or my journey or whatever it looks like. So as far as ideal protein protocol goes, we know that if you have, any extra little bit of carbs in the diet, anything that you're not supposed to have that's not on our sheet, basically you're going to refill the glycogen tank, and you have to kind of reset right from the start again. So I think that's the biggest thing to think about, is that, Easter was just here. Maybe you indulged in some extra Easter chocolate, or you had, the stuffing or the potatoes from the turkey or whatever it was. Whatever that indulgence might have been, and you decided that was worth it for today, Monday morning or Tuesday or whatever your day is to get back on track, you have to remember this is day one for the program all over again. So that means you may need to use your extra packets. And, you know, in the old days, we would say it was 5 packets a day. We're actually saying now to try to use 4 packets a day and to use 2 of your branched chain amino acids. So either way, you're still getting a little bit extra support, because as your glycogen tank is now unfilling, you're starting to use up that little bit of sugar storage. You kind of hit that bottom out phase, or portion, I should say, where you don't have any extra calories coming in from glycogen, but you're not quite burning fat yet. And that can take 3 to 5 days. So as coaches, when we see a dieter, you know, they're writing in their journal, I'm doing really well for 3-4 days, and then I fall off the wagon again. It's not that you've fallen off the wagon, it's just that you need that extra little bit of push and support to really push your body to go, okay, now I need another form of energy, have a little bit extra protein, and then it will start to dive into that fat storage tank again. So if you have that cheat, the indulgence, whatever you want to call it, expect to gain 4, 5, 6 pounds even. And that water weight and glycogen will burn off through that next week, and you have to push yourself through to get back on track. I think that's the biggest mistake that people make. And again, you're going to have the headaches, you're going to have the fatigue and nausea and everything that goes with it. So you're going to need, I've got mine with me right now, my mangosteen and my water, or your lemon and tangerine, anything like that as well, with your extra IP salt. And then you're going to help push through that glycogen removal period, I guess you want to call it, because it's day 1, week 1, all over again. And I think that's what a lot of people forget.
So what's your advice for people that continuously, you know, each week, maybe they get 2, 3, 4 days in, and then boom, there's, you know, off track, and it happens week after week after week. How do you, what's your advice for that person?
For that, I tell them right off the bat, you know, it's give yourself some grace for one, especially with everything going on in uncertain times and everything, but to really focus on what your why is, what your goal is, whether it's, you know, a vision board or something that you want to see visual every day. I get people writing in a gratitude journal, and instead of, you know, thinking of all the terrible things they did for the day, they have to write something down that they were proud of and that they were grateful for the day. So it just leaves that last note of the night kind of thing. Is like, okay, I was grateful that, you know, I had vegetables in my fridge today and I was able to make some good choices, even though all of them might not have been. That's where we're going to start with, kind of thing. And then also to make sure they plan on having 4 to 5 packets every single day. It's not considered a cheat. It's not a deviation. You have to plan on having those things to help push through. And then to tell them to text me every day if you need help with something and you're not sure what to do with it or not sure how you're feeling. Then send me a message, reach out on our sharing page. I think we have the private group for your dieters as well. We have a private one for ours. And we have a lot of great tips and support and things in there. So I think that's the best way to look at it, is that plan on having those extra packets, give yourself some grace, and find what you're grateful for each day and figure out your why.
So I know we're going to get a bunch of questions on the extra packets. Let's talk about what you mean by that, how you implement that, and the real reason why you do it.
For sure. So the extra packets, we don't want them to be an extra restricted, but I do want them having them restricted in that first week especially. It's up to them kind of going forward from then. But with the extra packets, you know, my favorite go-tos are using your gelatin if you can, the blueberry, cranberry, pomegranate drink, because those are your collagen products, which could be a freebie anyway. And then things like your peach mango or vanilla drink or chicken soup, things that are like 1 and 2 carbs only, but you're still getting that full, you know, 20 grams of protein to help support your lean mass and that kind of thing. So I like using those ones. But then again, like you said, if you have those people that are really kind of falling off and having a tough time with it, have an extra bag of Dorados if you have to, or have the extra crispy square if that's going to do it. Anything to stop you from, you know, reaching for the mini eggs or whatever else might be your trigger kind of thing, right? If you can use those extra low carb packets, I think the better. And for me, I love having my chocolate shake in my coffee every single day. Everyone knows that. But if I need an extra one or it's in week 1, I'll do the vanilla drink or something with it because it's only 2 carbs versus 7. So I'm still getting a latte versus a mocha, but I know I'm getting that full protein along with it. So that it helps me get on track with it. And I have a big glycogen tank. I carry like 10 to 12 pounds of glycogen, which, you know, it sucks having to put that back on if I ever go over that high, you know, higher than 40 grams of carbs a day. But going through phase 1, you get that headache big time. You get the fatigue and the nausea and the hunger really badly in the first week. So a lot of the time I end up having 5 or 6 packets a day, or now that I know I can do the BCAAs, I have those a whole lot more often too. I just know that's what I'm going to need to do to get myself back on track for that week. So
That's great.
if you're in a pinch, I would use a couple of hard-boiled eggs if you really have to. But I love having packets that way. So
let's talk for a minute about the branched chain amino acids. I think sometimes there's a little bit of confusion. What do I use these for?
For sure. What do we do with them? Yeah. So the BCAAs, they're fruit punch flavor, first of all, and you make them up like a regular shake or something just with your water, but they are the valine, leucine, and isoleucine. Now, these 3 amino acids, generally everything you eat is going to go through the liver first pass effect. So everything gets metabolized through the liver. Now, the cool part with the BCAAs, with these 3 amino acids, is they actually bypass that system. So instead of going into energy where other things might be redirected because you're needing extra energy, they actually go directly into the lean mass, into your skeletal muscle. So they actually help maintain your lean mass. And when on the opposite side, when you're working out in maintenance, you start adding those in before, during, after workouts, you actually can start to build that lean mass up a little bit as well. So that's the bonus to having those ones involved as well. Cool, like fun fact with those anyway, is that all of our ideal protein products have some BCAAs in them. So a lot of people think they're getting these extra bonus items with them. Yes, they're bonus items, but all of the products have them. That's the cool part. Other than the collagens, that's when we say they're not complete proteins as well. They don't have those ones in there. But something like our peach mango drink, for example, is like a liquid gold because they have a lot of those extra BCAAs in them. So that's why we like to have the peach mango, for example. It's one of our highest, protein index products there are out there. And that's coming right from Mike Steele. He's talked about this quite a bit about our branched chain amino acids and kind of thing at our training sessions. For anyone listening that doesn't know Mike, he's our chief science advisor with Ideal Protein. He's been with the company for years and years and years. And we love him. Hi, Mikey, if you're watching. But yeah, that's where we use the BCAAs. And they are used 1 to 2 times a day during phase 1 now, especially in weeks 1 to 4, I think they say. And then ongoing from there, you can have a couple a day for sure when you're doing maintenance or adding in workouts or anything like that. So
yeah, I coach a lot of athletic clients, and the BCAAs 1 to 2 times per day is a must, and that peach mango following that run or bike ride or heavy lifting session, definitely love those products. All right, let's say hi to a couple of people. Karen here from Iowa. And we've got Josephine coming in from British Columbia. And I don't get to see all the time who these people are, but
I think I can see Suzanne, but I'm not sure which Suzanne that is. I don't see the names either.
This is probably Suzanne from Texas, one of my business partners out there, and then somebody coming in from Boise, Idaho, and we've got Dallas on here. So nice to see everybody. If you have questions, please put them in the comment section, and we'll be sure to answer them. Okay, Melissa, you were mentioning that you were going to talk a little bit about doing some online shopping and kind of some of your resources.
For sure. Just thinking about how things have, moved and changed and that kind of thing, with people wanting to stay home and social distancing and that kind of thing, or physical distancing, whatever the term is now, because we definitely are more social by looking at things like this and Zoom calls and getting in touch with people and that kind of thing. But as far as the shopping part goes, I know for our pharmacy, we're encouraging clients to not actually come into the pharmacy. And if they do, to put in their orders, whether it's their Ideal Protein orders or some over-the-counter items, prescriptions, whatever it is. For the most part, we've been accepting e-transfers and credit cards and having everything paid for ahead of time. And then we have free delivery within the city here, which is nice. So we've been delivering, 30, 40, 50 items a day sort of thing. And or else we have curbside pickup. So our front store staff have kind of a pickup counter where they can sanitize and clean everything up. And basically they call or text right before they get there, and we have it ready to go at the front for them. The nice thing with here, I'm sure you've heard us talk about us being the greenhouse capital of the prairies. Our greenhouses are producing some beautiful peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and lettuce and radishes and all kinds of things already. And I mean, we're really fortunate in that we have a guy called the Cucumber Man who has bags of mini cucumbers for $1 a piece. So, I mean, it's amazing to be able to do those. And they've been taking great precautions from what I've heard as well, where if there's somebody in shopping, it's actually on the honor system. You go in, you put your money in a little container and you take your vegetables home, and it's only allowed one person at a time in the little bit of a shopping area they have. And then as far as other groceries, I've actually contacted wholesalers in our area just because a lot of the bars and restaurants and things are closed down right now. So the wholesalers who were supplying foods to those places are actually supplying them out to individuals as well. So I had contacted one company and I got these giant bags of frozen broccoli and Brussels sprouts and green beans and fruit for my kids and all kinds of stuff at some great deals in huge bulk quantities. But that means I don't have to go shopping for a little while now again too. So I think it's just finding creative ways to use, like there's click and collect, and I think you said you use Instacart, something like that as well. So being able to do your shopping from home, I think is a whole lot better. And whether it's curbside pickup or delivery, those kinds of things, just so that, you know, you might as well stop the spread if we can, right? We know what's going to happen at some point. We've been taking all precautions we can for it, being that we're 2 pharmacists in the family like this. But yeah, just using all the opportunities to find those online shopping things that you can, or have one designated shopper in the house if you have somebody that has to go out, that kind of thing.
That's what we do.
Yeah, I think
I'm the only one that goes out, and I have to go out to the clinic anyway and do shipping and what have you. So I'm very, very, very careful, and it's just me and my significant other, and so we just really, really keep that way. Okay, we have a question coming in. What's the best way when you buy fresh veggies in bulk to keep them fresh?
For sure. I love the Tupperware Fridge Smart containers. So I don't know if you have a great Tupperware lady near you, but I love them. There's some with, I don't know what the newest ones are. I have the older ones with the yellow lids and the one with the green lids. And they actually have all the different veggies on the sides of them with how many buttons you push for how much venting it gets within the container. So as soon as I bring all my produce home, we wash it, we chop it up or get it ready to go. We get rid of all the original packaging and then wipe down the area where we've just brought everything in, sort of thing. So we're cleaning, disinfecting, chopping up, and getting it ready to go, which really is your meal prep. So that part of it's nice because now that we're home every night, so we can just pull stuff out of the fridge and make everything up how we need to. But I love the Fridge Smart containers, so I definitely go with those ones. I'm sure there's lots of other great ones out there, but everybody knows Tupperware and usually knows a Tupperware lady. So I would go.
All these network marketing businesses are going crazy right now because they have great products and we all know somebody who's selling essential oils or Tupperware or Pampered Chef or whatever. One of the things that Dee mentioned is not cutting things up or like not washing your lettuce until you're going to use it kind of thing, because otherwise it gets like the water, I guess, will make it not last as long.
I think it can start to go bad quicker kind of thing if you're not doing it properly or not storing it properly from there.
And then I've also talked with other chefs that and even Dee says certain vegetables you like flash, what is that called, where you put it in the hot water really quick and
parboiled
or something. Question for me and Melissa.
That's right.
We needed Dee for that one.
We actually have her helping out with our deliveries right now because we've been so swamped between us and a couple of our other pharmacies in town. She's helping out with our deliveries this morning. So she says hi, but she wasn't able to tune in while we're live anyway. So
I know. Too funny. Well, let's just close up with a last few things. Melissa, give us your best piece of advice for just staying on track during this stressful time in our lives.
For sure. I think the best thing you can do is basically just recommit to what those goals are and what are the steps needed that you're going to have to take to get there. If you have a plan and you know what you want to be at in, say, a month or 2 months from now, whenever we may be able to get some of these restrictions lifted. Maybe it's longer than that, depending where you're at and how bad things are. But I've had a few dyers actually say, when I go back to work in 2 months, I'm going to be, 20, 30 pounds down and no one's going to recognize me, kind of thing, or, whatever that might look like. So if there's some goals that can help keep you on track, definitely look at what those goals can be and just make it happen. I think that's the biggest thing. Decide to do it, and this is what we need to do to get there. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. If we're all home and you can cook and try out recipes and, whether it's Dee's recipes or whatever you're using with them anyway. I was making the sauerkraut soup yesterday, for example, because I'm like, I have sauerkraut and I have leftover tomatoes and I have other stuff I want to throw in there. So yeah, start experimenting and look what your goals are and what you need to get there. So
yeah, I agree with you. And it's so interesting because I have clients that right at the beginning of the having to sequester, and in the San Francisco Bay Area, we were like 2 weeks ahead of everybody else. And I had some people come in immediately and say, look, we just want to get on this. And yesterday I talked to them. They've been on it for 5 weeks now. Husband and wife. He's lost 18 pounds. She's lost 14 pounds. I had 7 people start last week. We just hop on the virtual meeting, and on the Zooms, we're able to, share the screen. We go through all the paperwork. It's just like we're in front of each other. And, we email it out to you. We ship you the food. It's working. So don't use this time to say, oh, I'll wait to get started when this is over, because honestly, from what I can tell online, people are gaining weight like crazy right now.
I've seen a lot of it, unfortunately. I know. I've heard like the quarantine 15 and things that people are not wanting to regain or look at like that. But so yeah, I look at it as we're at home. There's no going out. There's no social temptations of alcohol or dining out or appetizers or anything like that. It's everything that you've got in your house. So I think for a lot of our clients, it's been kind of the best thing in some ways anyway, in that they have to stay home and they have to cook and they have to try some of these new things. So yeah, like we've had a lot of restarts, a couple of new starts and some transfers and things into us, and we're happy to help out and keep things going that way. So
that's right. Well, thank you, Melissa, for joining me today. And if you guys have a certain subject you'd like to hear about, send me a message. If you are a coach and you'd like to join me, I'm always poking everybody. Can you come online? Can you come online?
Oh, someone said blanching is the word.
Yeah, blanching.
Yeah, there
Blanching's the word. And Instapot rutabaga. In fact, I placed an order at on Instacart, and my frozen rutabaga should be here sometime today. And I'll be doing that too. Or not rutabaga, rhubarb. Sorry.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That too.
Yeah. So I'll have that. And Karen says it's time to lose the isolation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, everybody.
We got back. Yeah. All right.
Thank you for joining me, Melissa, and see you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.